And to be clear, the gay community room.
Yeah.
Of your own community. Yeah.
But it's not like a shameful thing or just like, oh, they're mean to me. But it's like, these are not my men in terms of attraction. Now, if I'm just going to have a kiki, sure. But like, these are not the men that are interested in me in that capacity. I do that when I go to the straight rooms.
For those of us that came home and watched the Jetsons after school, creation of 1963, by the way, many of the things that we saw in the Jetsons actually came to fruition. We now have, at least on some order, robot cleaners. They're not the same way that Rosie was, but somewhat similar, and probably in another decade or two we'll have those. We now have flat screen TVs, which the Jetsons predicted. The Jetsons had video calls, which we do on our phones almost every day. It had smartwatches where we would see videos through our, well, they're not Apple Watches here, but he's watching the Flintstones, but same difference, where we could have live conferencing with our wristwatches. And even the idea of instant food, we're not quite there yet, but with Instacart and being able to have drones deliver food to us, we've gotten pretty close. But we didn't get to the flying cars. And so for many of us, there's a kind of looming disappointment because we thought we'd be flying in flying cars and that we'd have at least high-speed rail, but we see how that turned out.
Yeah, well, high-speed rail was the brainchild of Governor Jerry Brown when he worked here. For now, it's Governor Gavin Newsom's issue, whether he likes it or not.
The governor of California, did you ever hear of Gavin Newsom? He has got, that train is the worst cost overrun I've ever seen.
President Donald Trump slamming California's costly high-speed rail project from the Oval Office.
We're not going to pay for that thing. They are just, it's out of control.
This homeboy Leroy.
As a Gen Xer, I have to admit that there's a bit of me that's a bit disappointed in the idea that maybe in my lifetime I won't get the opportunity to sit in a traffic jam in the sky in a flying car like I watched as a kid watching the Jetsons. But as a younger man, I did believe that if I backed the liberal Democrat Party, they would push for policies that would not only push for high-speed rail, but for the overall benefit of the group.
We have a program now, which everybody knows. It's called Medicare. It was started by Lyndon Johnson back in 1965. It is a popular program. All that I want to do over a 4-year period is to expand it. Today, eligibility age is 65. I want to take it down to 55, 45, 35, everybody over a 4-year period. That's about it. And I want to expand benefits to include dental care, hearing aids, and eyeglasses as well. That's about it. Not too radical.
Well, that doesn't sound radical at all.
Generally speaking, I'm not one to speak often on politics because people take politics personally, almost like rooting for certain sports teams. And so if you have any kind of differing of opinions, it generally will turn emotional very quickly.
You would consider yourself pro-life, correct? Uh-huh. So I'm assuming you're against universal health care. Why? I just want to know why.
Well, first of all, it's not a right.
But one of the reasons why I feature Bernie Sanders is because he is a symbol of having a bigger conversation. How can we make sure that people have a public option for health care, something that is sacrilegious in America, but pretty much standard in most of the first world around the world, or having a single inch of high-speed rail, or making sure that kids can get access to higher education without going into a lot of debt. Just things that if you look back in a couple of generations, you'd be like, oh my gosh, this really helped people as a whole. But that conversation of raising the tide of all boats just never really gets here.
Okay, with that being said, why is it that a lot of the times people with uteruses have to carry all the responsibility that comes with getting pregnant?
You mean women?
I think there are people, I didn't want to get into this topic.
You already did. I mean, can you be a man with a uterus?
Yes.
And I can understand Republicans not really having that conversation because that's their philosophy. But the quote unquote liberal party, if you will, they never get to that conversation. And what's unfortunate, of course, is that a lot of other conversations come in and take its place.
Straight women refusing to date bi men specifically because they are bi has the same energy as white men refusing to date white women because they dated a black man in the past. Because both are predicated on the idea that a past partner somebody had ruins or otherwise makes it unsafe for you to sleep with them. Like, not only are those things just deeply racist and homophobic, but they are so patriarchal and male-centered.
Conversations that make me just throw my hands up and say, for the people that would have been allies with people like myself, you made a bed and now you just have to lie in it because I am not getting anywhere near the bed you're arguing about now.
It is the concept that a man can be so powerful to permanently and forever change the person that he slept with. And I don't subscribe to that. And the unfortunate part is that a lot of these straight women think that they're being so progressive too. Just because you're being bigoted to a queer man, the man doesn't cancel out the queer. You're still being bigoted to a queer person. Even if you're not a straight woman, I have heard of other bi women who won't date bi men for beyond me. But it is because of the insane purity culture shift that we have, and because bisexual people are inherently labeled as promiscuous, why biphobia is so normalized and allowed in queer spaces. This is why I am solely bi for bi. I will not date a monosexual person because lesbians that also won't date bisexual women, you're part of this too.
I gotta say, I am so proud of heterosexual women on standing on business and not wanting to date bisexual men and not feeding into you being homophobic because you don't want to do that. Because at the end of the day, we all see that this is just another a tactic to oppress and control women.
I hope you home viewers are enjoying this game.
Oh dear, I wish George could see at least part of this game.
A bi man is the gay man. You can call it homophobic if you want, but let me break it down. A bisexual person is not bi. They're gay and straight at the same damn time.
The Korean high-speed rail network already connects to most of the country's large cities.
Every time the internet has this conversation about whether or not refusing to date bisexual guys is homophobic, the straight women will come in and every single time they will not be able to defend themselves, so the only thing that they can say is, why are you trying to force me to date bisexual guys? When that's not even in the realm of the issue. There is no bisexual man waiting for you at the end of the rainbow. He's not there. He's not an option for you because you're homophobic. Bisexual guys don't want to date women who are homophobic. But you have to understand that when you come onto the internet and you say stuff like, oh, I wouldn't date a bisexual guy because the thought of somebody that I'm with being with a man in the past makes me disgusted, that is homophobic.
This is Secret Agent X-73145 reporting into headquarters.
This whole conversation about straight women not wanting to date bi men is crazy. And it's actually crazy for a bunch of different reasons. But the reason why I think that this conversation is crazy to be having is because I feel like a lot of these straight women who have this idea of not wanting to date bi men because they are bi and then basically having these homophobic or biphobic viewpoints, these women who have those viewpoints most likely have dated a bi man before or a closeted man. And it's not that they will ever know that. And maybe they will at some point in the future, but again, it literally is feeding into the system.
Today, we will be taking the world's fastest bullet train on a cross-country trip through China.
We might as well be on a plane.
That can travel up to 350 kilometers per hour. China's railway system is so extensive, it can wrap around the world 3 times.
So the hot debate around the internet now is women are biphobic if they do not date bi men. Let me be the first to tell you, yeah, it's a no for me.
No one is forcing y'all to date bi men, but all of the reasons you guys list for not wanting to date bi men are rooted in homophobia. You know that bi men can also be masculine, right? You know that fully gay men even can be masculine presenting, right? Masculinity and femininity does not equal sexual orientation. There are feminine straight men out there.
Keeping men from coming out of the closet, but it's also perpetuated by women as well. Y'all also have a part to play in this. Despite y'all having a marginalized identity doesn't negate you from being perpetuators of homophobia. That's not how that works. Therefore, if you perpetuate homophobic rhetoric that keeps men from feeling comfortable to come out the closet and be bisexual because they feel they will lose part of their dating pool, they're going to continue to be DL and continue to be in the closet. If they continue to be DL, there's less open and out bisexual men into the world. If there's less open and out bisexual men in the world, that means there's a smaller dating pool for also queer people and even gay people as well.
I'll prove statistically how overworked I am, and his own computer will supply the figures to prove it. You ready, Rudy?
Rudy's ready.
As a bi woman, a straight woman not wanting to date a bisexual man does not make her homophobic, babe.
Why are y'all so scared to be biphobic? Just be biphobic. If you don't, just be biphobic. It's not that hard, actually.
This car can fly for 25 minutes with a maximum speed of around 80 miles per hour. The company flew its latest experimental drone car during a short test on Tuesday. It aimed to demonstrate what the future of transportation could look like in China.
Men typically do not like women having autonomy over their own choices. Straight, gay, bisexual, whatever. This is a misogynistic thing that is ingrained into our culture, that exists within the LGBT community and without. Men do not take too kindly to women saying no to whatever they suggest. You're gonna date these bisexual men and you're gonna damn like it. This is a misogynistic thing that is ingrained into our culture, and especially black women.
Just because we're trying to get y'all to think a little harder about how y'all are being a little homophobic when it comes to your preference about dating by men, that does not mean we are telling y'all to date by men. You do not have to do anything you don't want to do. We're just saying you have to realize how what you're saying is homophobic.
Is it homophobic for a straight woman to not want to date a bisexual man because he's bisexual? Yes. And why is the reaction of these women to reference grape culture and say things like no means no? Girls, we're not telling you that you need to date them. In fact, please stay far away from bisexual men. Bisexual men, for many reasons, would never want to date a homophobic straight woman. Nobody's forcing you to. We are simply saying you need to unlearn homophobia and misogyny.
And only men could start this lie that women not wanting to sleep with a certain subset makes them some kind of phobic when men could fuck anything and not respect any of it. The fact that we're trying to equate attraction with allyship when we know that men's attraction has nothing to do with respect or allyship.
This is Indonesia's first high-speed train. It will lead me to Bandung. It's part of the Belt and Road Initiative. Let's have a look. Okay, so this is after several attempts. Let me try again. After several attempts, look at that roll up.
If you're not familiar with kilometers, it's roughly 1.6 kilometers in 1 mile. So 347 kilometers in an hour is going to be about 230 miles per hour, which is about 3 times faster than you can drive your car on the interstate. Unless you're pushing it, then you might be able to push it to maybe twice as fast. But that said, you could also do this while sitting in a steady carriage, so much so that you can stand a coin on its side, enjoy a beverage while eating a snack, watch your favorite TV show or your downloaded movie, and maybe even taking a phone call in Indonesia on a high-speed rail project that's already finished. And here, me, growing up watching the Jetsons, part of my dismay is that in my lifetime, I haven't seen the kinds of Jetsons improvements aside from maybe individual devices in the country that I grew up in. Instead, we hear what Sleeper Cell calls P&D politics. I mean, how many times are we going to rehash my body, my choice, and what is the definition of grape and who can do what, and all of these different kinds of ways of adding new vocabulary and verbiage to something that is hundreds of thousands of years old. Men and women finding ways to connect with each other and enjoy each other's physical company and maybe even build families. What's most unnerving to me is, as a kid growing up watching the Jetsons, is seeing these Jetsons-like projects be completed all around the world. And when you turn around back to home and you see the political discussion, especially in the party that I previously would have identified with, is this consistent rehashing of body politics, sexual politics, identity politics. How can I have sex? Who can I have sex with? Who is trying to limit the way that I can have sex? Who is trying to limit the outcomes that I can choose from after the outcome of those sexual acts take place? Who is judging me for my sexual behaviors? And what I'm saying is, I don't care about what people do in their private time. But what is really unnerving to me is that that's become the kind of topic that dominates at least liberal discussions every so often, to the point where how can you really take any of it seriously? And to the black women that are circling their wagons around these kinds of sexual identity politics, the question becomes, do you really think when it comes time to vote that we as black men are going to have anything in common with you if this is what you care about the most? And the answer to that is, if these are the allies that you have made your bed with, then you need to lay in that bed and deal with the outcome of what comes with choosing those allies. Because allies that want something other than permutations of sexual politics are not going to vote for that. And that would be more and more black men. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below, and I'll catch you next video. Take care.